got this. There we go.
If it weren't for phones and CCTV footage, we'd be missing out on a lot of wacko animal behavior. In this video, we will walk you through 20 zoo moments if we're not filmed, no one would believe it.
Oh my gosh, This is so violent.
Number 20. Sneaky tiger. These people really thought they could have casual chats with their backs to an apex predator. Don't let Disney movies fool you. Tigers will attack humans, and the fatality rate of these attacks is a whopping 65%. And a single flick of the tiger's limb can break multiple bones. Watch this tiger as he gets into a hunting position, ready to take on his next tasty meal.
Oh! This man is mad!
Only to run straight into the glass partition between him and the humans. Oops. These humans are lucky they got to simply laugh this off. Speaking of misrepresented animals, take a look at this clip that looks straight out of a Disney movie. Number 19. Rat and Komodo chase. Picture yourself heading over to the reptile exhibit, except it's a Komodo dragon making an utter fool of itself. Now, this is one opportunistic animal, all right. It will eat anything that comes its way. Yes, that includes you. That is why it's best to see them safe and sound behind a glass cage. But if you're stuck inside with it, then you're going to have to be smarter than the giant lizard. Might we suggest challenging the slow and scaly creature to a game of roll over? This 70-kilogram beast can only beeline for its food when it's eye to eye with its dinner. Watching a rat scuttle about his back and taunt him with his tiny feet is both hilarious and sad. We're pretty sure that rat went back to its rat friends and bragged about how it defeated a Komodo dragon in battle. And honestly, we don't blame it. That rat was a true warrior. But this next animal I'm about to show you is an athlete. Number 18. Monkey Tea Party. Oh boy, where do we even begin with this one? I mean, we're all for monkey business, but this lady took it a little too far. Breaking into a monkey exhibit to feed them? That's bananas. Pun intended. It's clear that the monkeys were excited at first, but it's also important to remember that they're wild animals. And when the food runs out, they're not going to just politely ask for more. No, no, no. Let's just say this stranger was better off viewing them from outside the enclosure. Because once those monkey smiles turn into frowns, our friendly visitor packs up and dashes. Lessons learned. If you want to feed the monkeys, just bring a crate of bananas and skip your Sunday dress. Number 17. Brother from another mother. Who needs a degree in zoology when you can just sit back and watch the show? Even wolves have their version of the, quote, cool kids club. They're housed differently depending on their species because they have different behaviors. But here's where things get interesting. In this video, 2 wolves got to visit another crossbreed in their cage. Now, you'd think they'd be all best buds since they're all the same species, right? Wrong. They stared at each other like they were from different planets. We wonder if they debated making small talk. Maybe a simple, hey, nice fur, could have broken the ice. It's like watching a bunch of humans staring at each other, trying to figure out why they're all different, when in fact, we're not. So next time you're at the zoo, take a break from the boring animal facts and watch the real entertainment. Animals being weirded out by one another. But hey, at least they don't bite, because this next animal sure did. Number 16. Back off, human. Do you know which animals don't have any time for fun and games? Hungry ones. One camel decided to take matters into his own hands. We mean teeth. While the zookeepers had a good laugh, the camel couldn't see what was funny. With a grip that could beat a lion's bite, he manages to snatch the bucket of food and topple it all over himself. Now, whether he went into a food coma after that is up for debate. But we're glad it ate to its fill and showed the folks who's boss. Not that size matters in doing that. This next clip shows us you can defeat even giants. Number 15. Giraffe vs. Goose. Ah, the classic big guy vs. little guy debate intrigues you. Now, fear is a natural response, but being courageous is a choice. That's what one goose showed us all. One mother goose got busy defending her younglings. 3 giraffes discovered this the hard way as they approached a family of these lovely birds a little too closely. One giraffe inspecting the family had already made Mama Goose upset. When more visitors lurk by, she decides it's time to be a little rough and tough. Before you know it, the brave goose jumps several feet into the air, ready to show these innocent giraffes who is boss. Now, we don't know about you, but if we were a giraffe and saw a goose flying near us, we'd probably just laugh it off and go about our day. But these giraffes weren't in as flighty a mood as Mother Deer. It looks like she's not the only smart animal out there.
Oh my god. She's 5.
Number 14. Clever chimps. When Darwin said humans evolved from monkeys, we took offense, till we learned that they're pretty smart creatures. One woman came near a monkey enclosure, and little did she know, she was there to barter her goods. The chimps might have been stuck behind a barrier, but when they see food, they know how to get it. It looks like the summer rain was beating down pretty hard on these guys. The chimp had a thirst that he just couldn't quench. And when the water's scarce, you make do with sugary drinks. Thankfully, this spectator came with the right assortments. The clever chimps lure her over to a hole in the barrier and drink to their fill. And did you know they have bronze as well as brains?
It looks like someone made a bug. So now you're not getting no more.
Number 13. Gibbon acrobatics. Alright folks, let's talk about the gibbon, an ape who knows how to swing and show off like no other. Now, we know what you're thinking. Oh great, another boring zoo exhibit. But let us tell you, this furry little guy is a must-see. You see, the gibbon is all about acrobatics. It's like watching a mini Cirque du Soleil in the trees of the Dudley Zoo exhibit in England. This ape can do some seriously impressive moves, like controlled falls and expertly grabbing on to the next branch, all while looking like it's having the time of its life. Their long arms and hooked fingers are perfect for swinging through the trees in a hand-over-hand pattern known as brachiation. But here's the thing. Their legs are kind of short, so to make up for it, they tuck them out of the way for fast maneuvering. It's like they're saying, who needs legs when you've got arms like these? Who knew an ape could be so darn entertaining? And this next animal isn't to be left behind either. Number 12. Smelly business. Okay, so picture this. You're at the Berlin Zoo, minding your own business, checking out the elephants. You're thinking, wow, these guys are huge. I'm glad I'm standing at a safe distance. But then, out of nowhere, one of the elephants starts doing the unthinkable. It releases a massive poop from its behind. And trust us, it's not a pretty sight. Now, this lucky spectator was standing at a safe distance, so he didn't get hit by any flying debris. But man, can you imagine if he got any closer? That would have been the most disgusting thing ever. Talk about embarrassing. It's bad enough when you accidentally fart in public, but imagine having an elephant-sized poop explosion in front of a crowd of people. Yikes. How about we move on to something less gross next? Number 11. Orangutan family ties. So, there's this nursing assistant named Naomi Davies who went to a zoo in the UK when she was 4 months pregnant. She had a baby bump of considerable size, which is normal, right? But here's where things get interesting. Naomi and her fiancé went to the orangutan exhibit, and there was a mother orangutan who carried her child on her back. When they approached, the orangutans immediately gazed at Naomi's baby bump, and the young orangutan went to the glass and repeatedly kissed it. It was a perfect spot, too. If the glass wasn't there, he would have been kissing her stomach. Can you imagine? Naomi was as touched by this mother-to-mother connection with another species as we are, but she went just a little overboard when she decided that she'd bring back her little one to see if they recognized her too. Mothers everywhere just want their little ones to grow up safe and sound and cheer on someone else enduring pregnancy. How sweet! But sometimes, these animals compete with humans instead.
Oh, she's kissed it, look.
Number 10. Lion 1, man 0. So, there are times when humans wonder if they're as strong as animals, right? Like, we all know bears are super strong, but what about other creatures? Well, a few years ago, some WWE wrestlers wanted to find out just how strong a lion was. So they played a game of tug of war with one at the San Antonio Zoo. After proper barriers were set in place, the lion held one end of the rope while Fabian Eichner, Killian Dane, and Ricochet tried to tug as if their life depended on it. And let us tell you, these wrestlers were big dudes with huge muscles. But even they couldn't beat the lion. All it took was the lion's jaw to hold onto the rope and pull with all its might. And the wrestlers had to give up. Seriously, can you imagine a lion's bite force? No wonder it won. It just goes to show, there are some things that animals are just naturally better at than humans, and we gotta respect that. At least they aren't elephants. They'll crush you.
Just let us know when you guys are ready to tap out. She's not moving.
Number 9. Pumpkin juice, anyone? The African bush elephant is not only the largest land mammal on the planet, but it's also an expert in pumpkin crushing. Yes, you heard that right. Picture this. You walk into the Oregon Zoo and you come across an elephant weighing a whopping 6 tons or more. It comes across a small pumpkin. And just like how you love popping bubble wrap, the elephant loves stomping on a juicy pumpkin. Let's be real, if you're ever in a pumpkin crushing competition, the fastest way to win is to call in the elephants. They'll get the job done in no time. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see elephants competing in the pumpkin crushing Olympics. It could be the next big thing. Speaking of next big things, number 8. Thank you, next. Oh man, animals and technology are an unusual combo. A young monkey, Amari, is a resident of Lincoln Park Zoo. He appears to have developed an addiction to visitors' phones and have forced staff at a Chicago zoo to limit its screen time. Let's just say they're worried about it affecting his development. Thinking of your mothers now, are you? In one instance, a young man decided to show a gorilla some pictures of other gorillas on his phone, and the gorilla was totally into it. It's like the gorilla had nothing better to do than to check out some sweet gorilla pics on the teenager's phone. Zookeepers are a bit worried though. Amari's been hooked on cell phones. Even when one of his fellow apes tries to make him mad, he's pretty unfazed. The problem is, he isn't showing any signs of aggression gorillas his age usually do. Something tells us an intervention is around the corner for Amari. Who knows? Maybe next time you go to the zoo, we can show gorillas memes and see how they respond to those. Or plan a mastermind escape, like this next animal did. Number 7. The Sweet Escape. Oh boy, it looks like the animals at the zoo are finally taking matters into their own tentacles. One critter at the New Zealand National Aquarium had enough of its time stuck inside. The octopus Inky made no effort to hide his traces. By the time the National Aquarium employees in New Zealand became aware that he was missing, peculiar suction cup prints served as a trace in an uncomplicated case. Since 2014, when he was taken in after being found in a crayfish pot, Inky had lived at the aquarium. And you know what? We don't blame it. Have you seen the size of some of those tanks? It's like living in a studio apartment, but without any Netflix to watch. The visitors merely screamed and made way for it, while it slithered away to freedom. Now, the aquarium in charge did capture it again, and they plan on just making his tank way more secure. But let's move back to our simian friends for the next one. Number 6. Dance like no one's watching. So, there's this monkey at the Calgary Zoo, and it's a break-dancing superstar. Yep, you heard us right. A camera caught it doing some killer moves and spinning around like nobody's business. It was splashing around in a puddle, and it looked like it was having the time of its life, just grooving to its beat. But we're not sure what got this primate so hyped up. But whatever it was, it must have been good because it kept on going for a while. And the best part? It suddenly just stops, as if to say, "What? I wasn't doing anything." Maybe it realized it was being watched and didn't want to embarrass itself. But hey, we say, dance like nobody's watching, even if you're a monkey in a zoo. Subscribers pick. Hold on, we're switching gears and looking at what the subscribers have picked out for us today. The internet is buzzing with this magnificent image. At a zoo, a lion made a break for freedom and spent 4 hours joyriding through a local town. What do you think of that? How can a lion just wander around like nothing is happening? You're probably thinking, that's pretty risky. And we get that. But hey, maybe it just wanted to get a feel of the city for a change. Strolling around the winding streets has to be better than being bored in an enclosure. Who knows? Maybe the police joined him on a day out and about. What do you think, guys? Did the lion head downtown, get a coffee, or just sunbathe? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below using the hashtag #subscriberpick. On to the next topic. Number 5. Home is where the zoo is. Have you heard about the hippo that escaped from the zoo? Yeah, you heard it right. It's not a joke. This hippo from an Israeli zoo decided to explore the outside world and managed to get through an open security gate. Now, hippos are no joke. They can be pretty dangerous. But this guy was in no mood to cause any trouble. After a few minutes of being outside, it seems that this hippo realized that the grass isn't always greener on the other side and decided to go back home to the zoo. Who can blame him? The zoo provides him with food, shelter, and safety. Why leave all that behind? We have to admit though, some animals seem to prefer zoo life over the wild. Okay, maybe those gorillas who are at each other's throats would disagree, but some animals like chilling in a zoo. Like this bear. He even dances. Number 4. Bear's Day Out. Don't play ABBA near this bear enclosure because someone's got moves to kill. Have you ever seen a polar bear dance? Well, get ready to be entertained because this bear has got some serious moves. Move over, circus bears, because this polar bear is bringing the dance party to the zoo. But bear dancing isn't a new phenomenon. Scientists have been studying them for decades. Turns out, if they come across older footprints, they dig their paws in to get a better whiff of the scent. But the big question is, where did this bear learn to dance like that? Maybe we should team up with it for Dancing with the Stars and give the show a run for its money. There's a new sheriff in town, and with a fur coat and moves like this, he's not going to back down easily. The next animal's habits are a little unhealthier. Number 3. Got a cigarette to spare? Okay, someone's got to say this. What are monkeys doing in North Korea? They have a smoking chimp at the Pyongyang Zoo. Don't believe us? We know smoking is a bad habit, but to see an animal being encouraged to smoke is just beyond ridiculous. Azalea, the chimp in question, allegedly smokes a whole pack of cigarettes every day. And get this, the zoo tries to play it cool by saying it doesn't affect her. Seriously? Who are they even trying to fool here? They even hand her a lighter and an already lit cigarette. It's hard to believe that such a beautiful and intelligent creature is being forced to do something so bizarre. No wonder the internet is in an uproar over this. It's downright crazy. But oh boy, wait till we tell you about Stoffel, the honey badger. Number 2. The Great Escape. This guy is not your average honey badger. No, sir. This honey badger wants to cause chaos and mischief wherever he goes. Stoffel broke into a local lodge and chased out the kitchen staff, and even ransacked some guest rooms for good measure. This guy's done it all. Eventually, Stoffel's owner had to put him in his enclosure, but did that stop him from causing trouble? Nope, not even a little bit. He's like a honey badger Houdini, finding a way to outsmart any security measures his humans put in place. Climbing fences, breaking locks, and even undoing barbed wire. You name it, Stoffel can do it. We've gotta hand it to him. He's a professional troll. He'll do whatever the heck it takes to have a good time, and mess with the humans who think they've got him all figured out. Stoffel, you crazy honey badger. Number 1. Show-stopping mating dance. Do you know what's wild? The Great Argus Pheasant's mating dance. This bird goes all out to attract potential mates. First, he scopes out the perfect spot in the forest to put on his show. Then, he clears out all other living creatures in the area. Once he's got the stage to himself, he lets out a loud call to signal to the ladies that the party is starting. And boy, does he know how to throw a party. The male starts flapping his giant wings like they're fans, revealing all sorts of high spots designed to woo the females. It's a sight to see, one of the most incredible displays in the entire animal kingdom. Now, we're not sure if this dance is always successful in finding a mate, but one thing's for sure, it's never anything less than spectacular. Though, can you imagine if humans had to do this to find love? A guy walking up with 2 giant fans, posing like a maniac? It would be quite the display. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride of crazy zoo moments. We hope you enjoyed this video about 20 zoo moments, which if weren't filmed, no one would believe them.